I'm not sure what this video is going to be about. I've been thinking about, hadn't made a video in a while, so this week I had plans of making a video, and I don't know what this video is going to be. I guess we're going to go for a ride. This video might be about content when you don't have any content. What do you do with that? All right, we'll see what happens. What's going on, YouTube? Here we are. We're in a cornfield in the middle of Connecticut. I live in Rhode Island, over here in Connecticut. This is one of my favorite spots to come through. It's back roads, there's huge farms right through here. Nice winding roads. And generally you catch the sunset right there, and it's pretty cool. So we got lots of corn. So yeah, I took you out in the middle of a cornfield. So our video, as I talked about earlier when I was at the house, is look at Stormtrooper. I hadn't even washed this bike since I came back from Laconia. This thing's filthy. And you know, I kind of been one of them moods where I don't care. Is that bad? I mean, not that I don't care, but I'm just, I don't know. I don't know if you can tell, but she's filthy. So our video, I don't even know what to talk about. So we're going to talk about not knowing what to talk about or make a video on. I think some of y'all have that issue. This week the weather's been great. I was thinking, oh, I'm going to take off early and I'm going to go ride. So I did, and then I found this place over in Groton, Connecticut, that was a sacred ancient ruins or rocks. I'd never heard of it, but I came across it, and it supposedly goes back to, they have these man-made caves and rocks and formation like Stonehenge or something. And I researched it, and it said, you know, they don't know if it came back to Native Americans or even before, or when the colonists came here, even before the Revolutionary War, before when the colonies formed. So I don't know. So I saw that, and I was like, oh, that'll be a good video. I could ride out there. It wasn't far from my house on the interstate. You know, on 95, probably, you know, 20 minutes, but I took the back roads, about 30 minutes. And I'm gonna put a link in it so you can show. This video really isn't about that, but it's related. You get very few traffic through here, which is nice. This is in the middle of nowhere. But when people do come through and I come here and take pictures, they all stop, make sure
it's
I'm
called
okay.
Gungy Wham.
Here comes a car here. I guarantee you they're going to stop.
Don't pay any
okay?
attention to what I'm saying in the video.
So
it's some kind of funky name from back.
I checked out where this
day.
place was at. It's called Grumpy Vamp. G-R-U-M-P-Y, then Vamp. And then so I figured out where it was at, and I'd been there before. In fact, my wife and I, Mrs. No Compass Moto, had been there because there is an abandoned church there. And my wife's business, we were looking for some a commercial building. She trains dogs and does dog daycare and has a facility. We were trying to expand, or she was. So we were looking for property. Ooh, hear a helicopter coming in. We talked about the sound of helicopter in my last video, didn't we? But anyway, so I went and checked it out, and it was at this old cathedral church that we looked at that was for sale. And it was probably built in the late 70s, 80s. And it's this gorgeous old church. And I say old, you know, 79, 80. And when we went inside, it was gorgeous. The architecture, the woods, you know, the trusses, exposed trusses, the arching of the wood. I mean, it was a beautiful piece of, I guess, engineering and just the wood was gorgeous. But the place was trashed. At the time you could go in, it was for sale. It's still for sale. And but it had been vagrants and people going there doing drugs. All the stained glass windows had been busted out. It was not a pretty place, but the inside of the church was gorgeous. So anyway, so obviously that was not going to work for us. And they wanted like, I don't know, 1.5 million for this place. I mean, it would have cost, there's no telling how much it would cost just to demo it. Would have been twice that. So anyway, so I figured out this is where it was at. And so I got there and I realized, oh, it's near that church. And so I parked, and then they have a parking lot that's near it, right by there. And now we went there, well, I went there, and they had posted no trespassing signs. They had yellow tape fenced. See, everybody's so nice here. And down there they had some campers down in the parking lot. Now let me tell you, dude, this was not no KOA campground. It was pretty sketchy. Looked like campers that had been there a while, some tents. They had a little tent city going on. And some of you by now know that I work in public safety. And my instincts told me I don't need to be taking Stormtrooper down in that parking lot and checking this place out, because apparently from the parking lot, it's about a 2-mile hike. Then I did some more research and they said, yeah, you can't go back there. You have to, apparently there's a group that takes tours back there. So I'm going to try to do that and take a tour back there. And I'll do a video, have some content. But anyway, what's the point of this video? I don't know. That's the whole point of this video. I don't know. This is like a Seinfeld episode. So I decided I wasn't going to do that. I wasn't going to get stabbed, robbed, my bike stolen and all that by some vagrant drug dealers or what have you. So I decided, well, you know, I'll go ride around. It's a beautiful day, and I'll get some, I'll make a video somewhere, go somewhere and find something, take some pictures, you know. But then I got riding and I just didn't feel like it. Is that bad? I'm gonna try to get out of the sun here. I just got riding and I really couldn't think of a place to go. And, you know, I said, you know what, I'm just gonna ride because it's a beautiful day and I'm not gonna worry about making a video. And then usually sometimes I'll take some cool pictures. I'll find some nice scenery and, you know, take a shot with Stormtrooper. And I did. I found a beautiful, huge farm with a huge, you know, old barns, because up here in New England everything's old, and from the 1700s, 1600s. So it was a beautiful barn, but dude, I didn't feel like stopping. I'm like, I really don't want to get off the bike. I don't have to park it the right way, get the right angle. I said, screw this shit, I'm just going to ride. So I rode for about 3 hours. I didn't do anything. I didn't do any video. I just rode. And I think sometimes, and don't get me wrong, I am an amateur YouTuber. I haven't been doing this long, and you watch my videos, you can tell that. Now I do have 151 subscribers. As Danny Hayes, the $1 Million Bogan, says, I'm a big fish. And I'm very grateful. It's just, that does humble me that 151 people have subscribed to watch these silly videos. That's pretty cool. I don't know if it's just intriguing for people to see how dumb these things will be, or what I'll say, or where I'm going, or whatever. I mean, the channel's called No Compass Moto for a reason. Hence today. But it's interesting, you know, content. It reminds me of the song by Chicago. What is it? 24-6-4. That great song where the lyrics are about him trying to write a song and he can't. He has writer's block. So he writes a song about not being able to write a song, and it's a hit. I mean, that's just brilliant. And I watch, like you guys, you know, I watch a lot of, that's pretty much all I watch is YouTube. I don't watch any network TV. I certainly don't watch the news. Being in public safety, I don't really care what's on the news, because sometimes I'm part of the news, so I need to get away, and I don't want to watch it. But I watch a lot of YouTube, and of course I watch a lot of YouTube with dealing with motorcycles, hence what we're doing here. And you know, some of the YouTubers, and we all know their names, they spend a lot of time making videos, and I think that's awesome. I think some of the product that comes out, the content, is very valuable. I learn a lot. Some of it's just, you know, we hit the record and we go and we travel on, but we watch it though, which is the strange thing, is I still catch myself watching 30 minutes of a guy ride a motorcycle and just talk. But we do that. I follow a gentleman in Georgia, old salty biker. As some of you know, I lived in Atlanta for about 30 years, and I follow his videos. Very intriguing. He makes you go and think. I can tell he lives in a part of North Atlanta. I'm familiar where it's at, because when he rides and goes around, I recognize the town or where he lives. So it's pretty cool. Hey, how's it going?
Yes.
I'm good. I'm just filming. Thanks for stopping.
No problem.
See, these people are so nice. They always stop and make sure you're okay. But he had a video on the other day. He was talking about Generation X, which I am. I'll be 59 this Sunday, August 9th. I'm kind of in denial. This could be a whole nother video, because I'm really not in denial about 59, but I'm in denial of what 59 equals. 60 next year. I'm not 60 years old, not even close. I certainly don't act that way. I'm certainly not mature enough to act that way. So, but back to the old salty biker. He wrote about, he did a video about Generation X and media, social media, and making videos. I thought it was quite interesting, and it kind of made me think about this of, you know, what content, what, you know, do you have to have content? Do you have to, you know, go out there and video and film every time you ride and then do whatever, you know? And I'm just not there yet. I'm just not, you know, work is pretty hectic, the position I'm in, life, whatever. I mean, I enjoy it. I enjoy this little hobby of YouTube and putting videos on. But I do respect, you know, the YouTubers that really, their videos are a production. You can tell they spend a lot of time, effort, and you know they're spending hours and hours of editing. And I'm just not going to do that right now. Which is fine, but I'm glad they do, because they provide a great quality product, and I enjoy watching it. So I don't really know what this video is about, making content, or do you always have to make content? You know, let me know what you think in the comments. Make sure I don't hit by a car here. I think it's very I think this is very intriguing, YouTube, in you know what we watch. And I know for I guess our little genre of motorcycles, my wife doesn't watch it too much. You can just tell she's just not gonna sit there and watch YouTube, but I do. And I watch you guys, and I just find myself enjoying it, you know, because we're the motorcycle community and checking things out. So yeah. So this video was about making content and not having any content. It's like a Seinfeld episode. It's about nothing. But I did ride, so that was a good thing. You see in the video, tractor trailer off of Interstate 95. He just decided he'd pull right in front of me, which is, you know, it's nothing to you guys. You're familiar. All right, well, I appreciate you guys watching and checking in. This was not really exciting, but I had some things, you know, I just wanted to throw out there, and maybe you guys will comment and let me know what you think. I'm gonna enjoy this sunset here. And this is obviously August here, and this is the prime time when they plant the corn. And as I said, I love this spot. But whenever I come here, when I was coming in, I filmed a little bit of corn. The corn's pretty high, like 6 feet. And I always think of that movie, The Children of the Corn. Is Malachi going to come out of those woods? You familiar? All right, YouTube. Thanks for checking in. Appreciate all you subscribers that are subscribing. That's very humbling. I am planning some trips here towards the end of the month, which I will have content to do a video. Not sure where I'm going. I wanted to go to Sturgis, but that didn't work out. And I know some people talk about going to Sturgis at the, after Sturgis towards the end of the month in August, beginning of September. They said the weather is great then, and there's nobody there. So I don't know, that might be an option. We'll just have to see. It's just it's a haul from here, the northeast, to Sturgis. But it is what it is. And that's another thing is I find, and these are first world problems. Is I'm here in the Northeast, and I lived in Atlanta, and I remember I would leave work and come home and go ride. And I didn't live in the city. I lived out in the suburbs, Northeast, I guess 30, 40 miles northeast of downtown Atlanta. So I could come home and get on my bike and go ride for 2 hours out in the middle of nowhere. And it was awesome. I wasn't far from North Georgia mountains, if you're familiar with that. I wasn't that far from the Dragon. I also wasn't far from Such's. That's a pretty good ride. But what I'm getting at is, there I could ride, and especially during the week, if I took off with my schedule, I had a lot of time off, I would ride up in the mountains, North Georgia mountains, during the week, and there was nobody there. I mean, you could go 30 minutes and not see a car. It was great. You would have the whole place to yourself pretty much. Not on weekends. As you can see, when you go to the Dragon on the weekends, it's like the Indy 500. So, but I do miss that. And I guess what I'm getting at is here in the Northeast, I live in Rhode Island, and I feel claustrophobic. I feel closed in. And there's good riding up in Connecticut. It's beautiful in eastern Connecticut. Obviously, people say, oh man, you live at the ocean, you get to ride along the ocean. Well, yeah, it's good, but I have to deal with tourists. The place is packed. And I'm between 2 hours from New York City and about an hour and 20 minutes from Boston. So I'm right in the middle. So to really do any good riding that I'm used to, of just hitting the road and going, you got to get out of the Northeast. Now it's beautiful in New Hampshire, don't get me wrong. You ride up there, the mountains, and I know these are first world problems and I'm whining, but sometimes around here you run out of places to film, if that makes sense. You only see so many videos of the ocean. I mean, I live 8 minutes from the ocean. I know people say, why are you bitching about that? But regardless. So yeah, I'm hoping to go on some trips and maybe enhance my YouTube production. So I'm looking at getting some other equipment, an Insta360. I have this GoPro, which I hate. I see they're financially in trouble. I can see why, but that's a whole nother video. I think also Salty Biker touched on that. But anyway, all right, guys, I'm gonna quit babbling. I'm gonna get on the bike on Stormtrooper, and we're gonna do a little riding before it gets dark, because I don't know where you live, but here the deer are out, which tells me that fall isn't that far. I know some of y'all going whatever, it's August 6th, but when you start seeing the deer out, you're like, what's going on? So we're gonna go ride for a little bit before we head home. Thank you for tuning in, and please comment. Let me know your thoughts. If I'm just a blabbing idiot, just tell me, or you kind of agree with some of the stuff I said. I mean, it's all good. And always remember, in the end, none of this is going to matter. You think about the big picture. Trust me, none of this is going to matter in the end. All right, guys, be safe, treat each other well, and we'll talk to you soon.
1, 2, 3, 4.